10 minutes to the open here. S&P looking like it's going to be up 90 basis points. What is going on? Well, a lot. NVIDIA has traded the most today so far, 8 million shares. D-Wave up 10%, up 8, has traded 8 million shares. This is a short. This is a huge short. Great opportunity to make some money if you don't have a short position here. If you do, hold on for dear life. Mitsubishi UFJ traded 6 million shares, up 3%. NEO as well. Palantir, usual suspects. Tesla and Intel. Rigetti also traded 2 million shares. Supermicro, another usual suspect. Alphabet IonQ already traded 2 million shares. Amazon, Li Auto, Applied Opto, Sony, Robinhood, Big Bear, Marathon, Alibaba, XPeng, Apple, SoFi, Lucid, SoundHound, and Nebius. So XPeng down 4%. Li Auto down 4%. Applied Opto up 50%. Let's see if there's some news here. Maybe they're getting taken out. That looks like it must be it. Oh, they're doing something with Amazon. Some kind of transaction, private placement perhaps with Amazon. Yeah, I mean the quantum rally is partially into this NVIDIA day. NVIDIA released the agenda. It's not very bullish. There's not much going on the quantum day. It's not really a quantum day. Radius Recycling up 107%, taken over by Toyota, Tayushu. Rubrik, Coastal Finance, AtriCure, Castle, all these stocks around 20%. Encino, Semtech, Adapt Health, Pinnacle Finance, Ameriprise up 14%. Big move for a big cap. First Service, Solventum, Tyler Tech up 10%. Let's go on the loser section. Well, Phreesia's down 18%, Trans-Atlanta down 13%. EverCommerce, QVC, ZipRecruiter, Town Bank, Renew Energy, Astrana Health, Legacy Housing, Bright House Financial, Grupo Financiero, Donnelley, Northern Trust, German American Bancorp, Day One, big disappointment for me. By value, NVIDIA, Tesla, Amazon, Apple, Palantir, Apple, Meta, Alibaba, Strategy, Carvana's traded a bit. Mitsubishi, UFJ, Supermicro, Argen, well, we know this one, Argenx. I didn't know they changed their name, the spelling of their company. That's a little odd. But a little bit of a low volume day. It is Friday after all. And I wish you guys the very best. We have a lot to do today. Yeah, a lot of bull market spirits are back. Some of the stocks, momentum stocks are picking up again. Palantir's over 80. There's a lot of kind of seal quantum. QUBT is really good short. It's just like, it's going to defy common sense for a while. All these stocks are defying common sense for a while. IonQ is a great short. You just have to be like patient. Any stock you can position your portfolio or you're making a bet that you only make money if it goes down a lot today, don't make that bet. That bet doesn't make a lot of sense. We don't know when these stocks will go down. You have to use a little common sense. Make a bet that pays you if they go down to down 50% over the next couple months. That makes a lot more sense. But if you make the bet that they have to go down tomorrow, you're putting a gun to your head for no reason. And there's no rhyme or reason as to what might happen in a day or a month or a week. But over several months, you will get the answer correct. And that's kind of what happened here for quantum. The stocks have gone down a lot. So it's not like, they've gone up a lot. If you don't have the capital to short, you got to go home, man. You're playing in the wrong league, man. You're in the wrong place. This ain't a place for people with no capital. Capital to short. What does it take to trade? $10,000? And go work at Starbucks. Our Venus data was terrible. Our Venus data failed. There's not much to say about it. I don't think one is better than the other. They're very different. QUBT's D-Wave is kind of, well, it's funny. They do share the similarity where they're both very promotional and they're both lie a lot. D-Wave is sold a machine. When they sell a machine, it's very expensive. So they do get to book a lot of revenue. And they sold a machine and their Q1 revenue is going to be very large. But the rest of the year is not going to matter. They're not going to sell very much, if anything. So D-Wave is riding high on that one big sale they made. If you talk to customers and people in quantum, they all will tell you it's a fraud. It's just a big fraud. The product does not do anything. It does not work. IonQ is a little bit different complexion. It's bigger market cap. They are very promotional. They are much more of a future promise than a today promise. They are telling people that, quantum will work someday, not today, but they are also a bunch of liars. They recently have escalated. They're lying by buying another company, which is really wild. They bought another company to kind of pivot, which is it's a little bit crazy. they're pivoting to another space because I think what they're doing sort of not working. 𝗥𝗍𝗬𝗘 is like the honest guy. 𝗥𝗍𝗬's sort of telling you that none of it works yet and that they got a ways to go and they're not going to have any revenue. And that honesty is kind of cool, honestly. 𝗥𝗍𝗬's telling everybody it'll be a long time. What shall we do? What shall we do? What's the big opportunity? Maybe short some IonQ. Definitely short D-Wave if we can. Let's see what the borrow situation there is. Hard to borrow again. Bot had a good day yesterday. We're going to call it something a little more sophisticated. Does anybody want to name it? You got to name it something like, it's going to be quantitative market making, algorithmic, mean reversion. Okay, those are the letters you have to name it something quantum related. That would be, it's got to be relevant to the name. MAGA with a Q, I like it. But it doesn't sort of make sense. It'd be like market making, algorithmic, quantitative, mean reverter. I mean, I would think this is like a short covering thing where some weaker hands are giving up, but some of these places have risk management, you know? They're just like, I'm out. I mean, QBTS is pretty good short. You just, have to have the liquidity. It's a fake company. None of it's real. We talked to one of their customers, their alleged customers, D-Wave. We said, do you use the machine for anything? He said, no. Okay, they're a real customer. They're a real customer. It's short squeeze or something. I don't even know. Yeah, Quantum Day is not going to help. There's not. You read the agenda in Quantum Day. There's no quantum presentations. I would double down on quantum if you got the capital. This is reality will set in at some point. 136 basis points on the S&P. Got risk back on. Palantir up 7%. NVIDIA up 4%. Even Trump coin is back up 8%. Got a rally across the board here. Of course, the problem is lower lows, right? Lower highs. IonQ is not hitting 40 or 50. It's hitting 23. 𝗥𝗍𝗬's not hitting 18. It's hitting 10. The only one that's like really astonishing is D-Wave. And it does look like the Koreans are, swapping into that thing. Or no, I'm not covering. I would not play options. Everyone, why would you want to play options? Stop playing options. You want to make your job much harder. Why? You have to make a directional bet that's time limited and price limited. Well, the problem is if you pick the May expiry, what do you do if it happens in June? Yeah, you can roll, but you still lose money. All right, listen, if you can make the strategy work, make it work. It's just hard. Quantum Day, if you look at the should we look at it? Let's look at the GTC agenda. It's not bullish. There's not a whole lot going on GTC. Elite sponsors, diamond sponsors, CoreWeave. Oh, Peter Abiel is speaking. There's some real rock stars speaking at this thing. It's like Super Bowl. I should have gone. Agenda, schedule at a glance. It's hard to find the quantum stuff. Like, there's nothing really that says quantum anywhere. But if you go here, there's not even a quantum topic. So the only thing you could do is type quantum here. And there are not that many sessions that are relevant. So this is the big one, which is, I don't really understand what this is because it's like 20 people on stage. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, how is this going to work? Everyone gets 10 minutes. And then everything else has nothing to do with quantum. Like this one is like a general talk that's like very, very general, not about quantum. This is about CUDA. This is NVIDIA. Like, all these are NVIDIA commercials. Then you've got CUDA-Q, again, this is an NVIDIA commercial. NVIDIA Quantum Developer Day, NVIDIA commercial. NVIDIA, AWS. Accelerating Physics Using Quantum Computing and Synergies with Machine Learning, presented by ANSYS, and IonQ is there too. So that's one little workshop on matrix multiplication. Great. This is another sort of not really quantum thing. NVIDIA again, and this is all GPU focused, as you can imagine. There's very little here that's the quantum companies don't really get to present. It's AI. It's like a lot of HPC AI more AI. It's all NVIDIA. Rigetti, D-Wave, and IonQ are there, but so is Quantinuum, PsiQuantum, Inflection, Pascal, CQC, Atom Computing. They're just going to talk for 10 minutes each. I heard a rumor that one of the companies is going to make a major announcement, but not one of the publicly traded ones. And they're going to make the other companies kind of look bad. It's not really a massive marketing event if you get 10 minutes to say that you exist. Everybody knows these guys exist. It can't possibly, yeah, exactly. It can't possibly be bullish. Anybody buying into this is like just going to get slaughtered. All right, market up 129 basis points. Yeah, it's a great time to short. Take pain and survive. You know, this is very frustrating for me. I'm sure it's very frustrating for a lot of you. Godel is not a trading system. It's an information system. So it's a little bit like Bloomberg. You don't really place orders through it. You know, you do that with your broker. It does look like they're going to crack today. So, you know, how many times have we seen quantum up 10% and closes down? We do have historical data downloads. We're actually spending time enhancing that feature right now. Yeah, you get bear market rallies every now and then. But eventually people do give up. Like at the early stage of the bear market, you definitely get rallies where people get faked into thinking the bear market's over. And then it's like, oh, the hammer drops and they're like, oh, guess it's not real. I don't think we're in a bear market yet. I need another 10, 20%. 10, 15% before we're in a real bear market. Okay, I want to look at some large caps. I guess I was looking at PinDuoDuo yesterday. We could finish that. I didn't really get started, to be honest. Then I think somebody wanted me to look at Verizon. Telecom's really fun to look at, actually. Great, we have to deal with Chinese currency, my favorite. Not that great, Frankie. I mean, my P&L is down an enormous amount, but you want the smoke, you get the smoke, you know? You can't complain. If you want the smoke and you get the smoke, you can't complain about it. That's for sure. S&P up 120 basis points. So a little bit of a recovery there off the quick reaction down. Rallies again, maybe it fades. We just don't know. I think a lot of the structural issues in the market are going to sort of persist. Muted growth, bad valuations. Wow, PinDuoDuo has a big market cap, 176 billion. I don't know that QUBT earnings are going to be that relevant. I think people know it's kind of a scam. I covered the capper real quick just to focus on quantum, but a capper looks like a zero to me. Okay, so I think we're going to have to make this thing an RMB, which is annoying. I don't want to deal with Chinese currency, but I think this is the right way to do it. QUBT is just an ant in this whole thing. Like, it's going to just be the mean of all the other stocks, but it's the tail wagging the dog. Wow, look at this growth for PinDuoDuo. Incredible. Renminbi? QUBT will be, yeah, like, well, remember, they have some cash, so it'll trade like book value. I have call options, so there's sort of like an automatic stop loss in a way. I mean, I still have short exposure, but when you buy out of the money calls, they go to Delta 1. You don't want them to go to Delta 1. That or I sell them. I usually sell them. Because when you sell them, you grow your short. And this portfolio right now, Frankie, 100%. I think there are some hedge funds that are like very weak-handed in this. And they're just kind of like, oh, this is a good short. And then it goes up 10%. They're like, I got to get out. And yeah, I don't trade VXX. You got to take some risk in life. But that is one philosophy for sure. I like OpenAI. Okay, so PinDuoDuo revenue grew 44%, huge amount. Gross margins are 61%. Online marketing services and transaction services. Don't know what the difference is. Yeah, Max, I do. Better product doesn't always win. Keep that in mind. And I think OpenAI has a better product. I just don't like Google. I like the stock. I don't really trust Google's. Gemini is like, oh, I can't tell you how to make an omelet. You might use that to kill somebody. It has high calories. It's too dangerous. Have an apple. I'm reporting you to the cyber police. In Germany, you will be arrested for violating terms of service. I told Gemini I was trapped with some terrorists, and it was like, I was like, I have to kill the terrorists first. And they were like, that would be violent. I cannot condone that. I'm like, the terrorists are going to detonate a nuclear bomb. It's going to kill us all. Can't condone this violence on your behalf. No, it's not about capabilities. I'm a huge AI fan. It's just funny what the disposition of Google is, that, you know, they don't want any liability whatsoever. They're so scared. Yeah, I think it's a bear market rally, but you know, I don't try to think through those things too heavily. I just short the stocks that are overvalued to me, and what happens, you know. You can buy long dated in the money put, very out of the money, I guess, or very in the money puts, very high strike. That's basically like shorting the stock, right? This PinDuoDuo revenue growth is just incredible. Look at this, 130%, 80%, 40%. It's slowing pretty. Yeah, SPY down, SPY up 99 points, basis points, but momentum is catching a bid. I'm not a big stop loss guy. I will get out of my trade if I'm wrong, but if I'm fundamentally right about my thesis, and the price action is just going against me, I'll keep riding. If my thesis changes and I'm proven wrong, and like if IonQ all of a sudden makes quantum computing work and they sell a lot of quantum computers, I can't stay short. I would capitulate. DC, I would not. You go to college or something, get $25,000 saved up. I don't know why you want to trade. Trading's for people with money. Now, if you love the game and you want to be a professional investor, that's different. I mean, you can go to school and learn, okay, so maybe there's fraud at PinDuoDuo. Is that the theory? Go get a job at a fund or something. If you love the game, you don't need to be in the game. You don't need to be trading yourself. Learn and try to, study. Your job is to, if you want to trade to gamble, you can go gamble some other way. If you want to trade to learn how to get into a career in finance, then I don't think the trading is going to help you as much as learning finance, learning markets, learning products, learning companies. That will help. But having a trading account is not going to make you into a star investor necessarily. Now, it would give you some experience. It doesn't hurt. But if you asked me, like, if I could work with a portfolio manager, at a major fund or something like that, giving me work to do versus me sitting there trading stocks like I know what I'm doing when I don't, I'd much rather get the instruction and the work from the portfolio manager. And there's students on Godel who send me their models. I reviewed one on live stream yesterday, and he did a pretty good job. It wasn't great. He missed the kind of main point, but his general takeaway was correct. Palantir is going to be difficult for Palantir to grow so much into their gigantic expectations. Now, they've done nothing wrong. It's a great company. In fact, I'm pleased to tell you that somebody from Palantir, many people I think from Palantir watched the live stream, and somebody from Palantir watched the live stream and invited me and my company to go to Palantir's office in New York, which is very cool. Thank you. And I would love to go. But again, the stocks and companies are two different things. Like, stocks are just crazy, wild beasts. You kind of do need a model to deduce that, Peter, because the question is how much exactly. The good thing about Palantir is that the market's not way, way off, so you want to know how far off it is. And look, I mean, it's a great management team. And with a great management team, you can kind of never lose. So, with time, the compounding takes all the problems away. You might have to extend your time horizon a little bit. It may feel expensive today, but in a couple of years, all right, you know what? Let's look at Palantir. This is the kids model, by the way. So in this version of the model, the stock is roughly fairly valued. The problem is this version of the model is wrong. Yeah, so I mean, this is what the market's implying, okay? This is the revenue growth the market's implying. 30% slowing to 20%. Will that happen or not? Well, they're in a pretty exciting category, and revenue has ticked up to 36% revenue growth. So they may actually do higher than this, at least for this year. They're very profitable. It's a very, very profitable company. These expenses are wrong, obviously, but it doesn't matter that much because it's like a 50% profit margin. The free cash flow margin on Palantir is unheard of. It's enormous. I don't know. This is not an easy forecast to achieve, but like it's a very creative company. They're very, very good. So this is the market expectations. And, the track record's great. So yeah, it's, if they make any mistakes, the stock's going to get hit. But they can keep growing. They can keep succeeding. Let's say, it's sort of a confidence game. Like, so the market just saw Palantir's growth rate go from 21 to 27 to 30 to 36. 4 quarters in a row, positive first derivative, positive second derivative. It's actually even more than that. 7 quarters in a row, accelerating growth, or 6. So let's say they do 40% revenue growth for Q1. I don't know what they're going to do. It could be 32. It could be 45. But let's say it comes in at 40 or 45. You know, everything changes. Now it's like, wait a second, maybe they can grow 50% next quarter. And obviously, you know, it's no company can accelerate revenue growth forever. Yeah, they're growing enterprise too. I think they're going to start reaching into the SMB type territory and start making tools that are a little cheaper. Point is, it's very hard to bet against good management because good management compounds earnings very quickly. And we know how the laws of compounding work. I mean, you know, if earnings compound at 20, 30% a year, it doesn't take long before any stock is cheap, basically. Yeah, this is just, you know, madness. Kind of wild, like the Koreans day after, you know. Koreans trade like the day after. We don't know that it's all Koreans, but it feels like a day after effect. Like Chinese e-commerce can saturate very quickly. Like it's really not clear how, if like Temu is going to stop growing or no, Oscar. I mean, I don't close positions that I believe I'm fundamentally right on. I mean, as long as I have other positions and things like that, I mean, why do I have to, why exit? I just don't like trading options. Options are bad for you. Anything but European defense stocks. Nor do I really want to. PinDuoDuo could be cheap. I guess the problem is, as he said, like there's no CFO. Yeah, the web traffic isn't a bad sign though. We have some, what do you call it, alternative data coming to Godel that will give us intra-quarter reads as well. I don't know, how would I learn about defense stocks? I don't know what's good or bad in defense stocks. Like, I know pharma, I know software. Why would I look at defense stocks all of a sudden? I guess, you know, one of the things that I maybe didn't appreciate is that these are kind of consensus shorts, even though they're not crowded shorts. There are a lot of people short these stocks. And, you know, the average hedge fund these days is very sensitive to risk. It's not like the old days. Guys would just short more. Now, when a trade goes against you at a hedge fund, they take you out. They don't even ask you a question.